What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today I'm going to shout a Dondozo team in the Open Great League. This Pokemon is a pick that we don't see too often in GBL because I think it is a little bit hard to get your hands on, but I don't think it's a bad Pokemon in the slightest. Waterfall got that rework this season, and having actual Water-type damage is pretty nice in the meta. A lot of the time, people actually do disrespect Water-type damage, as a lot of Water-types don't really have that much damage output on their own. But with that said, Waterfall and Surf is going to cover that weakness, and Outrage is a great coverage move as well. Dondozo has a lot of bulk. I'm excited to see what it can do. I feel like it's a little bit better than people are giving it credit for. But real quick, before we get into the battles, I want to ask if you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. Helps out quite a bit, and I'd really appreciate it. But let's get into the battles and see what Dondozo can do. Alright, we got a match. Dondozo, I believe in you. Dondozo into Shadow Malamar. Okay. This is odd. I actually have just two better answers in the backline here. So I don't know exactly how I want to play this out, but at least staying in for a second here is probably not a terrible play. I am a little bit worried that if they have the Malamar in the lead, likely there's going to be some Fortress answers in the backline. But I think either way, we're going to be in a pretty playable spot. Foul play is going to hurt a little bit, but we do survive it. We have the Surf ready to go, and they should be at 5 Psywaves right now. So they're 5 away from their next move. Surf might get a shield. If they do shield, I'd be very happy. And I'm going to just switch at this point, get the bug bite damage that I can here. Wow. Whoa, okay. They have let us get so many bug bites of damage into them. I was not expecting that. And honestly, if they're going to go for an attack here, I'm going to shield this up. I want to shield something in this game. I don't want to be in a spot here I'm completely down shields and I just lose. Aegislash comes in. I guess I shouldn't have shielded the foul play because Aegislash would one-shot us either way, but I mean, with decent switch clocks and keeping our Dondozo around, this is still not the best spot for them to be in. I can never bring in my Guzzlord here too, that'd be great. We'll see if that can happen. 13. This is going to be such an odd game. Because at this point, I can bring in my Guzzlord here and force him to go for Gyro Balls into us. Okay, they're at back-to-back moves right now. 2 Gyro Balls might not be quite enough to knock us out. It probably will be, actually, though. Gyro Ball is a pretty strong attack, all things considered. At least, like, it's a good enough attack from a freaking Aegislash. So this likely will end up getting us down pretty low on HP. I just don't know what's going to be in the backline at this point. Oh, well, now I know. It's a Feraligatr. Wow, wait, this team actually really disrespects Guzzlord. What the heck? They're triple weak to us. I was going to say there's a good chance there's a Guzzlord answer in the backline because so far they've kind of been pretty strong, or pretty weakened to it, rather. And Hydro Cannon instantly being thrown? You know, I think I'm going to shield this up. At this point, I can get at least 2 more attacks here. And if Aegislash has to deal with 3 Pokemon remaining, that's going to be really hard for them. Alright, Brutal Swing's going to hurt quite a bit. Do we end up getting a shield here, or will they just sacrifice this at this point? Brutal Swing gets a no-shield. I just farmed down then. I think this should be game over at this point. They can't really bring in... Well, I'm just going to instantly go for the Brutal Swing, because if they have Malamar and they bring that back in, I just knock it out. And now they don't really have a way to clear their Sword form. I have 3 Pokemon around. Aegislash never can knock out 3 Pokemon here. There's just no chance. Down goes the Malamar. And at this point, they have to go for a move pretty quickly, or else they have to shield. And even if they, like, end up knocking us out, I've got a Dondozo. I have a Fortress. I need 2 more charge attacks to win this game. And in Sword form, they're not going to last long enough to get there. Alright, Gyro Ball's going to knock us out. Maybe they went for a Shadow Ball just in case I caught, which wouldn't be a bad play either. They went for... Okay, Gyro Ball. But Waterfalls are going to hurt. They'll get another move off here, unfortunately. So Dondozo will go down. Actually, he tried to catch there, but looks like we got a 1-turn lag. Doesn't matter. Dondozo will go down, but now they're completely dry. We Bug Bite down. Oh, they Gyro Ball there? That's crazy. Anyway, eventually, we'll Bug Bite down the Aegislash and get the win. There we go. Aegislash is such a weird Pokemon, but GG's. All right, next opponent. We'll see Dondozo up against Empoleon. How does this go? Wait, who is this better for? I actually have no idea. I mean, I resist their damage, they resist my damage, although my charge attacks are also resisted, but they have to go for non-stab Drill Pecks into us, so... I bet this is just pretty neutral through and through. I'm going to go for the no-shield on these attacks, because I bet I survive at least 2 Drill Pecks. I bet the 3rd will knock us out, so yeah, it looks like that is the case. Surf will be able to chip them down quite a bit. It probably doesn't quite two-shot, although I have more fast move pressure than they do, so... Through and through, a pretty neutral matchup, it looks like. Whoa! Okay. They shield that? I don't know why. I wish I could tell you why they'd shield that. What move did they think I had? I wish Dondozo got Earthquake, but I know we don't, so... A little sad. Alright, Surf once again. And at this point, they do have yet another Drill Peck loaded. We'll see at this point if they want to go for his shield or not. I would doubt it, but they shielded the first, so, I mean, they could. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so they have 4 extra metal sounds after this drill peck, which means I should be able to bring in my Shadow Bugbite Fortress and start going for a farm down here. Empoleon lead could likely have dragons in the backline, so I'm hoping my fortress is going to be a little bit better once this thing's gone. I'll shield at the first attack here because they're not going to get to a second this game, and I'd rather not take a Hydro Cannon if I could help it just yet. And getting the energy lead here could be helpful if there is like an Altaria in the backline. Okay, they let that just completely go down. That's good for me. Oh, an Altaria, that's crazy. Rock Tomb is going to be reached well before a Flamethrower. They should be at 10 Dragon Breaths right now. And while Rock Tomb doesn't one-shot them, it will put them down pretty low if they let it go. They do let it go. Nice. Okay. We attempt to catch. Don't quite get it, unfortunately for us. Oh, but the backline is a Grumpig. Okay, I think we're fine. I think we're in a really good spot. But it could be maybe a little bit scary just because Dynamic Punch will hurt quite a bit. But Grumpig is not a good answer here. We survive one attack pretty easily from them. And then, hopefully with a shield advantage, our fortress just wins the game. But they do have a lot of energy still on that Altaria, which I am a little bit scared about. There's that shield, okay. I'm going to just no-shield this, though. I think that's the play here. And hope at this point that my fortress can finish off the rest of that Altaria. Dynamic hurts, but we do survive it. You know, honestly, it might not be a bad play just to shield this up. Save the Brutal Swing, right? Then I can swap into my Fortress here. Oh, but they switch too. That's a smart play. But if I go for the Brutal Swing now, I can guarantee to knock out the Altaria. And potentially knock out the Grumpig as well with another Brutal Swing. Oh, what? Okay. Or if they just go for the combo play of the Sky Attack. I wasn't expecting that at all. But they do outpace us here. So it's still going to come down to like the same final endgame play, where I need to go for a Brutal Swing here and get another one off into that Grumpig, or just farm them down with my Dragon Tails. It will be a close game, but I think it is winnable. Come on, Guzzlord, I believe in you. Please tell me that we have enough damage here. It's going to be so close. No Sidewave, please! Or no, no Dynamic Punch, rather. We do get the win. We Dragon Tail down. Okay, what a match. What a match. Let's go, Guzzlord. All right, next opponent. We'll see. Dondozo up against a Shadow Kanto Ninetales. Well, that's a good lead. My Fortress needs to avoid this at all costs, but both my Guzzlord and my Dondozo are so good here. I bring in an Azum. I don't have an instant counter swap into this Pokemon, but I guess I do have access here to a funny little Fortress, so that is good. Hydro Pump would hurt quite a bit if they end up having it, which, I mean, they might. I'm going to shield this up. Okay, well, maybe they do have it because they Ice Beam us. That's odd that they baited, though. So they should be at 3 right now. At least I get the Rock Tomb off, rather. Oh, getting a shield down there is not bad. I think there is a good chance this game that the final Pokemon is a Go-Goat. 7. I should survive on move from this range. Honestly, at this point, I wall them if they're on the Hydro Pump Ice Beam moveset with my Dondozo, so I can just come back in with that later, after a double debuff, and then I should be in still a pretty playable spot. We'll see how it plays out, though. Rock Tomb number 2 will get a debuff against their attack stat once again, so now this Azu is double debuffed, as if it didn't already do no damage to us, right? But they do flip switch here. That was a crazy bait by them, but honestly, well played to them by doing that. I'm just going to go for a full Waterfall down here, come out with 100 energy, and then, hopefully, even if it is a Go-Goat, Outrage even is going to do quite a bit of damage, and then my Guzzlord's just going to close out the game. Alright. Yeah, Hydro Pump comes through him. That does so little damage. I mean, I know it's double debuffed, and I know it's an Azu throwing a Hydro Pump of all things, but, like, that is still so funny to see. And these Waterfalls are actually doing some real damage. Alright, I'm going to be honest, I've been kind of lazy with my counts. I don't know if this is an Ice Beam or a Hydro Pump. Either way, I'm fine with it, but I would much prefer an Ice Beam. Yeah, that does no damage to us whatsoever. What's in the backline? Show me the Grass type. Show me the Go-Goat that I think is going to be back there. What are they doing? Oh, yeah, it is. They waited so long, though, that I ended up throwing a Waterfall, which I probably shouldn't have. Anyway, Outrage is going to hurt quite a bit, and then my Guzzlord's just going to close out this game. That does so much damage! Oh my goodness! Holy crap! I love to see that. Outrage did like 60% of their HP. I guess this could be a Rock Slide here, but it could also just be a Brick Break. Either way, I'm going to no-shield the first move. Yeah, Rock Slide. And in comes the Ninetales. At this point, they should be in surf range on that Go-Goat, so I think we're just fine. 2 Brutal Swings is going to be very close to knocking this out after the Dragon Tail damage. And they can't really shield this, right? I mean, they probably shouldn't, but they could. All right, they're at 4, so they have a Weather Ball right now. 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. I just shield this up, and that should be game over. Because even if this is a Weather Ball bait, they only get another Weather Ball off no matter what, and then I can just win the game straight up by going for a Brutal Swing here. And if they just go for a Weather Ball, I can keep on over-farming. And honestly, even if my Guzzlord does go down, I think my Dondozo just closes out the game. They're at 1 right now. 2, 3. We knock him out with a Brutal Swing. Yeah, we're fine. There's nothing they can do here. Luckily, Azumarill was our worst-case scenario to see this game, but we saw it in the right spot. And it was kind of a crazy moveset. I kind of wonder how, like, Dondozo against that moveset of Azumarill does just straight up. I bet it's not that bad for Dondozo. Brutal Swing gets the knockout here. There we go. All right, Guzzlord, once again coming in clutch in the backline. You absolutely love to see it. All right, next opponent. We'll see Dondozo up against Wigglytuff. Well, okay, avoiding this with my Guzzlord is very good. With that said, it's a little bit sad that I don't see this Pokemon into my Fortress. But Waterfall and Charm are both going to add up pretty quickly here. But since Dondozo is so bulky, this matchup's actually not that bad for us. I can go for a Surf, and then I think I can actually go for a 1-shield farm down here after the fact. That's only a Swift coming through, so they're not going to go for any crazy Icy Wind shenanigans. But we have the Surf ready to go as well. It's going to do a little bit more damage than a Swift would. And we'll see at this point if they do want to shield this up, or if at this point they're willing to just sacrifice a lot of HP on Wigglytuff. And yeah, they do end up letting that go. I think I'm going to go for the 1-shield farm down, come out of this with a lot of energy. That doesn't seem like a bad play. They do go for yet another Swift against us. I'll shield this up. I'll come out with an Outrage almost. And we'll see what comes in. Wigglytuff does often get paired with, like, Gastrodon or Quagsire Pokemon like that, so we'll see what comes in here. Well, I wasn't expecting to see that. Oh, you know, I don't know if I survive that Incinerate. If I do, I still get my next move off, but if I don't, then at least I get this Surf through before I get knocked out. Yeah, I do get KO'd there, so it's a good thing that I threw when I did. And luckily, we have a secondary answer to Shadow-type Typhlosion. If I didn't, I'd be in a very bad spot. With that said, Carbink in the back is also not super great to see. Wow, they were so weak to Dondozo. Unfortunately, Carbink is going to be putting in a lot of work here. A lot more than I'd like to see. Honestly, though, I think I'm going to go Rock Tomb first. I think that's the play. Oh, they actually have Power Gem. That's a good thing for them to have. Wow, I don't love that. If that was a Rock Slide that came through there, I'd take quite a bit less damage. That's why I wanted to Rock Tomb. Like, it's not like I'm going to increase the damage of my Bug Bites. I'm still doing 2 damage per turn anyway. But I am able to do quite a bit of work here just with my Fast Move Pressure, and they are almost at their next move. This game's going to get so weird. I don't know if I like what's happening right now. Because they have a Blast Burn on... Oh, that knocks out! Oh my goodness! Okay, well, never mind. I do like what's happening. I, for some reason, did not expect that to KO. I thought they'd survive that Rock Tomb. Okay, well, I think I survive a Blast Burn here, right? I mean, surely I do. I'm going to no-shield this just because at this point, I have to survive a move anyway. Might as well try to survive the first. They could go for a bait, who's to say? Solar Beam? Does that do more raw damage than a Blast Burn? Anyone know? Okay. Well, at least we won that one. What the heck? Alright, next opponent. I don't think it's going to be too easy to top that last game, though. Malamar in the lead. Okay. I like Malamar for my team, but I don't necessarily like seeing it in the lead. I have 2 things in the backline a little bit better into this Pokemon, so it is a little bit awkward to see it here. But with that said, it's not bad either way. They're going to go for a little bit of an overfarm. They should be at 17 Psywaves. I survived the foul play pretty easily, but I know a Surf doesn't quite knock out here, and unlike the Shadow Malamar, it might not even threaten his shield as early as I'd like. They should be at 8 Psywaves, so 2 away from their next move. We'll see what they end up going for. Surf comes through. It does end up landing, so that's good. Yeah, it looks like I'm not going to be able to go for the farm down super easily with Dondozo, but I can go for a snipe down, I think. I'm going to shield this up, switch and try to get as many Bug Bites as I can, as quickly as I can. Hopefully knock them out before they can swap out. Well, I didn't expect the swap out from them. But, like, it's still fine. But I would have preferred if that didn't happen, if I'm being honest. You know what? We're double shielding. I can guarantee at this point that I land a Rock Tomb and take less damage from the next Hydro Cannon. And my Bug Bites are adding up so much. Alright, let's see what they do. Rock Tomb's gonna hurt, but at this point I do know they have 2 shields remaining. I wouldn't mind to get at least one of those down right now. Okay, there goes 1 shield, that's good stuff. Hydro Cannon's not gonna knock us out now thanks to that debuff. And I hope either we can farm them all the way down, or potentially we can just force another move out of them. Please get the farm down, that'd be so good for us. We get the farm down, okay, we have a Sand Tomb ready to go against something. But what is it gonna be that comes in? Oh, you know, I'm kind of fine with the Malamar coming in. If I'm being honest, I don't hate getting rid of this Pokemon, but I am a little bit worried about what the final Pokemon might be. Because they had some energy here still. Oh, no! No! Well, that's bad. That's a loss. Tinkaton in the back line, it's just gonna destroy us. That's unfortunate. Alright, next opponent. We'll see Dondozo into Shadow Celio. Alright, I guess. This might be a little bit bait reliant on how it goes, but I do technically resist the fast move pressure. And Waterfall here, despite being resisted, is doing a lot of damage as well, so maybe this isn't that bad for us. It should be at back-to-back body slams right now. But I mean, I survived them. It's non-stab body slams, so that's fine. They should be at 5, 6... Alright, once again, we do survive this move. And Celio, while it is a counter to Guzzlord, it's not the best counter in the game, right? So they're at 2, 3, 4. Outrage should be able to get his shield here, guaranteed. Or, I mean, if it doesn't get his shield, they're going to be very low on HP, and then my Guzzlord doesn't have to deal with it. And if they do shield, they're still forced to throw more energy to knock us out. 5, 6, 7, 8. Kind of a tempting shield here, honestly, but I think it's not a bad no shield either. Because now I can bring in my Shadow Bug Bite Fortress, shield once against a Surf, and farm all the way down. Because I think they only get 1 move off here. Oh, interesting. They actually swap into a regular Quagsire of all things. Don't have a hard answer to this Pokemon, but it's also not terrible to see. We'll see what moveset they're on. It's likely Mud Bomb, saying it's a non-Shadow Quagsire. Honestly, I'm going to bring in my Guzzlord here. It might be a bad play, but I think I'd rather bring in my Guzzlord against this than take a lot of strip damage on my Fortress. I should survive 2 attacks here, and I can build up to back-to-back Brutal Swings. Oh, they do have Stone Edge on the non-Shadow. That's kind of interesting, actually. Don't normally see that. I should survive this next move here either way. Stone Edge non-Shadow Quag. That's a kind of a cool moveset. Stone Edge hurts, but we do survive. I have a back-to-back moves ready to go, so 1 for this, 1 for the Celio, likely, if it comes in. Or if I can, I wouldn't mind switching out, but I don't think he's going to let me swap out here. Oh, okay. We see the final Pokemon is a Charjabug. Interesting. I think that the discharges do less damage than what the Celio can do into us, but it's going to be close. 2, 3. I think he has us here, unfortunately. I think he has us just because I have to shield a discharge. And that Celio is still very healthy, unfortunately. I'm gonna go for the Sand Tomb. Maybe I should have gone for the Rock Tomb to debuff them, but I don't think I can. But at this point also, if I end up no-shielding a discharge, he can go straight body slam into us. Well played. I don't think that we can win this one. We'll try. I don't think I can Bug Bite down that Celio in time, though. I think they have just too much energy. If they stay in here for some reason, then maybe I can win. But no, they switch. Very smart play. And this should be back-to-back body slams. That's unfortunate, actually. That is tricky. Charjabug in the backline could have definitely been winnable. But unfortunately for us, we just didn't have access to the best possible situation. He didn't give us the farm that we needed. And if we got the extra farm on Fortress, we could have won the game, but he swapped out of the lead, and that was smart of him. Alright, next battle. Hopefully no more Celio leads. That one was kind of tricky in the last game. Dondozo into Tinkaton. This is exactly where I want to see it, actually. I resist Gigaton Hammer, and I'm so bulky at this point that they probably don't want to stay in here either way. They bring in a Grumpig. A little bit of a slow counter swap by me, but it doesn't really matter because of how strong Fortress is here. So we end up taking a move. I'm going to no-shield the first, because, I mean, I think they go Dynamic Punch first, but maybe they go for the Shadow Ball. Yeah, big dynamic. I'll shield the next and farm down. I could throw energy here if I wanted to, but it's not like my energy doesn't go quite a ways against that Tinkaton as well. And if I can chip down the Tink, we're in a good spot. It could be a lot of things in the backline right now. I don't know exactly what you'd pair with a Grumpig Tinkaton core, maybe like a Feraligatr. If that's the case, then I'm hoping at this point that my Guzzlord is in a decent spot in the backline. They're at 1 here. They need to go for probably a Bulldoze to knock us out. I don't think they can Fairy Wind us down. 5, so they're already at another, or at the first move, rather. Bulldoze likely does come close to knocking us out from this range, but my Bug Bites are going to start adding up against them quite a bit too, so they likely want to throw energy here before I can get my next move. 7. Okay. Honestly, I'm pretty fine chipping this down into a range where even a Brutal Swing could be enough. Bulldoze will be thrown, so they're at 2 right now. And we'll see what's in the backline. Oh, it's an Altaria. Shadow Altaria. I think that's fine. It could be a little bit scary, but with Shadow Altaria being so much squishier, I think even just landing 1 Brutal Swing is going to put them into a farm down range, so they have to double shield here. And I likely don't get farmed down before I get to a 3rd Brutal Swing myself. Hopefully. Yeah, I should get a 3rd move, so we force both attacks out of them. A Surf should knock him out after my Dragon Tail chip damage. And then Guzzlord, or Dondozo rather, should be able to sweep. Sky Attack comes through. We have the next Brutal Swing already queued up here. This should put him down way too low, so they have to shield this attack up, guaranteed. Their one way of having a chance this game is by getting a catch, I think, on that Tinkaton. And if they do catch, then I think still my Dondozo wins, but we'll see. Because this Altaria has way too much work to do. Sky Attack's going to be forced to be thrown by then. Good counting by them to throw right before my Brutal Swing, but now he's coming Dondozo. I Surf, and if they catch, that's fine. If they don't catch, that's even better, because now Altaria just goes down, and Tinkaton has nowhere to go against us. Surf should knock him out, and they're in Waterfall down range on Tinkaton. Dondozo is just going to close out this endgame. Dude, let's go. Waterfalls do so much damage here, man. Yeah, we knock out the Tinkaton. They get a parting Gigaton Hammer off, but this is probably only going to do about half of my remaining HP. It's not going to do anything to us right now. Although it is interesting to see the damage. Nice, let's go, Dondozo. Alright, next battle. We'll see Dondozo as our lead up against a Shadow Typhlosion. Good lead. We want to avoid this with our Fortress at all costs, but our Guzzlord and our Dondozo have so much play here, especially if they're staying in. These Waterfalls do so much damage. What are they doing? Why are they staying in this? That is insane to me. I mean, I guess this is technically super effective, and if they're staying in here, I would have to imagine they don't want to see my Dondozo in the backline. I'm going to shield this up. In comes a Feraligatr. Okay. Not a bad Pokemon to see at all. Could be a Grass type in the back. I wouldn't be surprised by that. And Ice Beam here is not going to be able to knock us out. But honestly, I think I'm going to shield this up. It could be a bad play to go down 2 shields this early on, but they only have charge attack pressure here, so if I end up keeping my Guzzlord healthy, this could be very tricky for them. Another Brutal Swing going to be thrown. This should be able to put them down pretty low on HP, and since at this point they have to go for another Ice Beam to knock us out, I wouldn't be super surprised if they end up going for just a straight-up no-shield here, and taking the 2-shield advantage and hoping it's good enough against our team. Brutal Swing gets the knockout. Alright, that's good. We see a Tinkaton in the backline. Okay. That's not great, but it's not terrible either. What do we do here? I think I might just stay in. That might be a terrible play. But, like, I can chip them down quite a bit here. Should I be staying in? I don't know. I know I can't bring in Fortress just yet. And Brutal Swings are going to chip them down quite a bit. They'll have to shield something at some point, or be at risk of just being in farm down range. Looks like they're going for the full farm down against us. Not a bad play. But I do have another move ready to go. This should do just a little bit more raw damage to the Tinkaton. And we'll see what they do. Sludge Bomb lands against them. And, like, their HP is so low at this point. Like, farm down potential might just be a little bit too much for them, even. Alright. Gigaton Hammer likely being thrown, but it doesn't two-shot us. So, we should be fine, potentially. Okay. I'm going to go for the move. I need to get his shield down at some point this game, so I don't think this is a terrible idea to go for. We'll see what they do. Okay. I think we're fine. I think we don't get knocked out by a Thunder Punch, and I think potentially my Fortress can still close out this game, but it will be a little bit close. They do shield, makes sense. But we get the waterfall through. If we survive this Thunder Punch, we should be able to just win this game. We're one away from our next move. Yeah, easy live. And they have to throw instantly here. They don't want to take any unnecessary waterfall damage. Will they be able to knock us out with a bulldoze? Honestly, I don't even know if bulldoze knocks us out from here. It does. Okay, that's going to make things closer than it has to be. Because now if they get a Gigaton Hammer off, which they do have, this is going to hurt. But I hope I survive. Please tell me I survive and I get my Sand Tomb off. Please. No! Oh, man. That's tragic. All right, next opponent. We'll see Dondozo into Jelly. Okay, not my favorite lead. What I'm going to try to do here is, I guess, just play out the matchup for a minute. Like, Waterfall does a sizable amount of damage, right? And Shadow Ball, while it is a strong move, we don't get one shot here. But maybe at some point I should switch out. I have tipped this down a little bit with Waterfall damage. I think at this point I'm going to bring in my Fortress. I need to swap out and, like, dance around a little bit, because I know my Guzzlord in the backline is going to be so sad if it doesn't see this Jelly. There's likely at least one, maybe two Fairy types in the backline. But we'll see what they have. I'll go for a Surf Bait here. Okay, interesting play by them. And at this point, even though they could have got a Surf off first, they were still 4 away from the next Shadow Ball, so I can Rock Tomb them before they're able to get their next move off. I will easily survive the attack from them. Oh, wait, they shield that? Interesting. Well, I think that's kind of fine for us still. They're at 5, so 2 away from a Surf because they went for that bait. Honestly, that bait's a little bit annoying that they decided to do that. I think I win CMP, right? Yeah. So Rock Tomb will get the knockout, or the final shield here. Honestly, getting a shield would not be the worst case scenario for us. They no shield, okay. Well, what comes in? Well, it's a good thing I have Switch, but I don't know if Dondozo has enough in the tank here to knock out this Wigglytuff. We'll see, I guess. I think I lose. I think I lose. Oh, man. Like, if I get a shield here, I don't even know what I want, actually. I'm in so much trouble. Okay, they do no-shield that, actually. Surf is gonna do enough damage to knock him out from this point, but is there a second Fairy type in the backline that just destroys my Guzzlord? Or at this point, do I just lose to the Wigglytuff? I think I just lose to the Wigglytuff. I wanted them to throw energy against us there. Now I'm a debuffed Guzzlord that might not even get a move off into this Wigglytuff. I mean, you see Jelly lead, you know there's probably going to be a Wiggly in the backline, but I was hoping for the best. I can't even get a farm down, and hope that it's a Hoopa Unbound in the backline. Well, at least we'll see the third Pokemon this game, and we'll see the Carbink, and we'll cry. What was it? Yeah. Yeah, no. We had absolutely zero chance of ever winning that game. Alright, next battle. We'll see Dondozo up against a Shadow Alolan Ninetales. Pretty good lead, actually. We do resist that Ice-type damage, unless for some reason they're on Charm. But no, it is Powder Snow. And I would imagine they're on Dazzling Gleam if they are staying in this matchup. I'm kind of surprised that they are staying in here. Let's go. Okay, I like where this is going. This is the hardest answer I think anyone could ever possibly have to a Jellicent. This is looking pretty good. At this point, what I'm going to try to do is build up enough energy to go for a Sludge Bomb eventually into that Ninetales. Because if I can get a Sludge Bomb there, either I get his shield, or, I mean, it might just knock him out with the amount of damage I've already done to them. Alright, likely they go for a Surf here to force me to throw after 3 more Dragon Tails, but if they do end up going for a Shadow Ball, they're going to be 4 away from their next attack. With that said, they could swap out at some point. Maybe I need to keep that in mind. But I don't know if I do need to keep that in mind, do I? How much do I care if they swap here? Not a lot, I don't think. Yeah, because, I mean, I can just shield this up anyway and save all of this energy. We'll see what's in the backline, though, because there is a chance there could be, like, a Typhlosion. I saw that team earlier today for some reason. Alright, we survived this move. And Surf here should put them into Waterfall downrange. Let's see what their coverage move is. Is it going to be Chilling Water, or... Oh, okay, Psyshock, I guess, is another option I completely forgot people could run. But, I mean, that's still fine. That actually does a lot less damage than a Dazzling Gleam would, as long as they don't get a second one off. Alright, Big Surf. We do see a no-shield, so now I just Waterfall down. And if they do bring back in that Jellicent, then they're going to be in a range where even a Surf could come close to knocking him out. Or we see the final Pokemon is a second Water type. A Azumarill here. Okay. It's looking good, but it could be scary depending on the moveset of this Azum. If they have Hydro Pump, it's not as good. But they can't really bubble down my Guzzlord, right? And they can't go for an Ice Beam here, so if they have Play Rough, they have to reveal it. And I don't think they would ever be on, like, Play Rough Hydro Pump. I feel like Ice Beam Hydro Pump is the only option there. 8, 9... Yeah, like, we survive an Ice Beam, so this has to be a Play Rough or a Hydro Pump to knock us out, or I just get another attack off. Ice Beam, so they must have Hydro Pump then. But I like getting this next Surf off. A lot of good damage. And Fortress, while it doesn't really want to take a Hydro Pump, at this point, we've chipped down this Azu so much that they're just going to be in Bug Bite downrange, and I can go straight Sand Tombs and Brutal Swings. I think we're fine here, but this game could be... It could always be a little bit scary. We'll see what they do. I wouldn't be surprised if they swap into their Jellicent right now and try to get our shield. But we actually just get the Sand Tomb off. Okay. I'm fine with them letting us get this. Very fine with that, honestly. Sand Tomb should get a shield. Finally, we should get a shield from them somewhere. Okay, we have so much energy on Guzzlord. We just go triple Brutal Swing and they lose. They have a defense drop right now on the Azu, which means, unfortunately for them, this should be enough to knock them out. We have the next one ready to go, and because we have the back-to-back here, we win CMP. This should just knock out the Azu, and the game should be ours now. As long as they don't, survive this somehow. Which they don't. We have another Brutal Swing after one more Dragon Tail. Let's go. ABA Fairy, A9 plus Azu Core. Guzzlord was a little bit scared of this game, but I mean, it took out one Fairy, and it can knock out the Jelly too, so love to see it. GG's. Yeah, I mean, Dondozo's a lot of fun to use. It can be a little bit hard to get your hands on, but if you do have one, give it a go. I think its bulk, as well as its pretty consistent damage output, honestly does make it a lot better than people might give it credit for. It is an interesting pick. I don't know if it's a top meta Pokemon, but at the very least, it is very viable to use. But yeah, thank you for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.